This episode of Disturbed, the American Horror Story podcast, is brought to you by Tweaked Audio.
To get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
Welcome to Disturbed. We are back. We're talking season 8, episode 2, The Morning After. And that's exactly how I feel right now. Hair of the dog, man. Morning After. I am beat. But ours is from too much podcasting. That's how I feel. What, you went silent on me there, Chris?
No, I'm sorry.
I didn't introduce ourselves. I'm Rubberman Southgate, and with me is...
Mr. Gallant, Chris Mao.
Mr. Gallant. You know, it's really probably not the best choice that we're Gallant and Rubberman for a number of reasons.
Yes.
So why don't we just jump right into it? Social media real fast. You can follow the show at Disturbed Pod. You can find us on Facebook, Disturbed Podcast. I've actually been starting to use Twitter a little bit more with it and trying to get some mojo going with that. We have a lot of listeners. We just have been terrible hosts. So we're trying to turn that around. And I never got any poll results. So Chris, not Mao, but Chris Delgadillo, who's joining us right now live in the chat room, you're the one who's going to tell us, do you want us to just stay current with this season, or do you want us to stay current and try to get those other, 3 or 4 episodes from last season, like, wedged in here? Or would you rather those come after this season? Because we did miss those last few episodes from last season. I know it's not a continuity thing, but Chris Delgadillo, it's up to you. And we'll wait for your answer. He's going to think about that one for a while. So, Chris, why don't you give your social media?
Absolutely. I can be found at Blue Box Cafe or Blue Box Cafe 176 on social media. Also at GeeksCon with a Z across all social media, Facebook, website, all that good stuff.
All right. And Chris, we have an official word from Chris Delgadillo. He says, keep it current and erect it in. So I'm going to go with erected in means he wants them inserted as soon as we can. So the plans changed. The plan at this point, I've got a paper due tomorrow, Thursday, wedge it in, he said. And you retracted that, but I'm going to still say we're going to erect it right in. We are going to, this week, try to get completely caught up on this season. Over the course of the next 2 weeks, then, why don't we try to go back and do what we can for the other? Because now that all of our marathons and events are over, and after this paper's due tomorrow, I got a couple of weeks to breathe. So, we'll try to do that. And if we screw it up, I wonder where they can write to Chris Delgadillo. Because I'm going to blame him. So, Chris, Mao.
Yes, sir.
Michael Langdon, and this is from IMDb, prepares a meeting with the guests of Outpost 3. Meanwhile, Miss Venable and Ms. Mead have a sinister plan in store. Okay, yes. First of all, please, that does not describe this episode at all.
No.
Second of all, I want to get your thoughts on this up front, because I have not watched past episode 2 yet.
Yes.
At this moment in time, what are you thinking? Oh, wait. Chris wrote in here. Facebook and Instagram, if you guys want to, and Twitter, if you want to write to him, it's DJ Matrix 310. Yeah, man.
Yeah, woo.
You just joined the team, Chris.
It's guest
That's awesome.
It's listener interaction. We got it.
I love it. I love it. So, all right. What are you thinking about this season? I mean, at this point.
Well, to me,
have you watched past 2?
I have, but I remember what I thought after I watched it, and I have it written down. It seemed very much like the table setter episode, where it kind of got that to there. I mean, I don't exactly understand what they're doing yet, but I kind of like it. I like the interaction. I mean, whatever I can get a lot of Evan Peters on the screen, I'm a big fan. So I thought it was good. I just, it seemed like a very their kind of episode, although I enjoyed it because it's kind of got into the workings of Outpost 3. But, I know that there's more coming just because I know of the writers, not spoiling anything. I just know that there's more happening. So,
yeah. So I haven't watched
because we haven't gotten. I'm sorry, just another thought. We haven't gotten in all the tie-ins that we were talking about, even though there's a whole ton of them. So,
okay,
I don't think there'll be more coming. So,
okay, all right. So my take, because I haven't watched ahead, and that yours may be tainted a little bit here, towards the positive. I didn't know what the hell was going on. Right. After that first episode where I was like, oh my gosh, this is hitting my wheelhouse all over the place. This one I was like, I felt like I was moving through molasses, and I just kept going, what's going on? I think being said, I'm still in. I'm still all the way in.
Right. I think it's intentional just to maybe describe the way that they're living, is that they're in these few rooms or in this small area with 10 of them or 12 of them or however many people there are, and they're eating, basically Jell-O cubes of protein. And what do you do? I think it kind of describes or depicts what the residents of Outpost 3 are going through. And then Langdon comes in and says, well, I'm going to decide not to all this, all this stuff that's going to happen. So
now, okay, as far as that goes, that actually was all right for me. Langdon showing up, I thought we were going to get, first of all, I thought we were going to get something more out of the Langdon story this time. And really all we got was, hey, I'm here. We're going to be choosing who gets to live, who gets to die. You're probably all going to die. And there's some weird stuff going on.
Yes.
And to me, it wasn't enough. Right. And I hope that people listening don't feel that I'm being like hypercritical, because this is the type of show that you really have to stay with. It's been here before. It's been here where I've gone, wait a minute, you're not giving me enough, or it's a little confusing. And then boom, they open the world up. And I have a feeling that's where we're going based on how it ended.
Well, I hope that they're going there. I think they do this every season where there's always one in the first 3 or 4 that just kind of, I hate to say sets the scene. I think they're doing that this time. Without really having seen, I've only seen the next episode, so I haven't even seen 4. But I think that there's a lot more to come.
Well, I think so too. And I think that we're not even into the story yet. No. I mean, how long can they go with 8 people in a bunker? You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
Unless it's Edith and Meathead and Archie. But how long can they really go? Imagine if they all lived inside of Archie. That would be a completely different show. The stuff going on with Venable and Mead, and I mean, like, it's all interesting. I need a little more story going on so that I can grip onto it. The first episode I gripped onto pretty well. Yeah. This second one, I kind of felt like we had the Gallant story. We had the Rubber Man show up, which was amazing. Right. Rubber Man on the ceiling, please. That is the greatest thing. We had that whole thing play out. We got backstory, it showed. I'm trying to think of a show that does that. There's a lot of shows. Oh, Orange is the New Black does it, where they have their episode and this is the story going on, and then you get these little glimpses of this backstory. That's what we were getting here. We were getting a little bit of Gallant and his grandmother. Right. What's her name? Evie something.
Evie, I think.
Evie. But we got that, and I really liked that. I don't want that to be the norm here, unless every time they go back, it fills in a gap.
Right.
Which this did do. It showed you things we didn't know about these characters. I had no idea he hated Evie that much.
Right.
And I had no idea her perspective, which was pretty great. At the same time, I don't think I'm going to make it that many episodes of 8 people in a bunker. So know it's going to change.
Yes.
especially when you only have like 2 villains and now here or 3 villains and now here's the guy from the outside, and it's like yeah, I get it, but I need more story going on, and I have a feeling we're going to get that in episode 3.
Yeah, I would agree that it kind of is a little slow, this episode especially, but I'm chalking it up to that there's more coming, and again, if it doesn't, then it'll be disappointing, but I have faith.
And that's one thing, the show has never disappointed.
No.
So I'm not like boy, I'm souring. No. I just watched it and I thought maybe I'm tired, maybe I'm distracted, but something's not connecting.
No, it was a little rough, but I think, I said, I think it depicts kind of what they're going through, and that the inmates are getting restless, and I think they're showing some unrest, while Venable and Mead are trying to retain this very strict style of living, and very that Victorian kind of prim and proper. And and then he shows up and kind of stirs a pot, and it's obvious that Gallant and Evie are restless, and that Timothy and Emily are restless. So our listener here, Chris, put in that the story gets better as you catch up. We're not spoiling anything here, but that's good to know. I think that we're going to see it. I mean, we're only 2 behind right now after this episode, so I think we're going to see it really start to catch a little fire here. One thing I want to say, I know we're not up front anymore, but up front is I'm super bummed that Evie's dead. I think she was my favorite new character. Yeah, but how much were you going to get out of her, truthfully?
I think you could have gotten a lot. And I'll tell you, I think that even in this episode, when she did the things where she's like, snakes are protein, I think that even though she's despicable, they're all despicable, right?
Well, is Timothy despicable? Is he's the only one?
Maybe we'll find out he is. But with her, she wore it on her sleeves. And when she said like her reason for why she should live, even though they're like, well, you've lived this old, you're old, you shouldn't.
Right.
What she said made sense. It's like, you know what? I get her perspective.
Well, in the line where she says that I've got 10 people between me and the golden ticket, you knew she was, when she sold out, Mr. Gallant, and she's like, there's 10 people between me and.
Although I think it's pretty despicable that you sell it your grandson first thing.
Yeah, but she.
How about Coco?
But she.
How about Coco? Get rid of her.
Yeah, but she not only does Gallant hate her, she hates him. So I mean, although they're family and all that stuff, I don't think there's any love lost, and she's just like, I need to survive. I'm this Hollywood, screen legend. I need to survive, and I don't care.
Yeah, right.
Not that it's right or fair or good or bad. It's just, it's not obviously not good. It is bad, but I think she.
So we've already pulled the seal off about Evie. I'm saying it wrong. It's going to be Evie, and people are going to start writing it like it's Evie, you moron. I don't care. She's dead. Spoiler: she's dead. So that whole thing where we saw the Rubber Man, I thought for sure it was what's his name, and then I started saying, what if it's not? Like in way back in Murder House, it's not who we think it is,
right?
And then it didn't prove to not be. We still don't know. All we know is.
Oh, I think we know who it was.
Who do you think it is?
Who the Rubber Man was back in Murder House?
It was this one.
I don't know who it is in this one. I have no idea, because it's very obvious that
we found out in Murder House, but in here we don't know.
Right.
We don't know. And see, the thing is, I can't think of his name, Langdon. They're trying to make you think it was Langdon, and I was pretty sure it was Langdon, and that maybe he's got a little superpower witchcraft going on, right? Because he's going to tie into these witches, right? We know the witches are coming.
Yes.
And he's got to be a warlock or something. That's something that's going to play out here.
Yes.
And he with his that scene with when you saw it, the Rubber Man in there, and then you find that you see later on that Langdon's in the door and he's like, I wouldn't go near you. He was creating an illusion that made him kill Evie, I believe.
Yes.
Or maybe Evie's not dead. Dead.
I think he was he was putting Mr. Gallant in a position to make a decision whether he wanted to really fight to be in the next to go on to the, to the next thing or to not. Because I think he was questioning him, and then that's where he put him. It's like, if you want it, you need to prove it. And so, even if you're pissed at me, that's okay.
Yeah.
Even if you suppose it's me and you think it's me, that's great. And then, he did the.
Do you think what it was doing is it was making him play out his deepest, darkest desire?
I don't know about that.
Because we can see that start to play out with some of the other characters going forward.
Yeah.
They do something that you go, that it's like something they're hiding that they really desire that's really freaking awful.
I don't know, because it seemed like when they depicted, and they went back and they were talking about his like they're going back about their relationship and how he did all these things. I think he always kind of took the easy way out. He was the guy that's like, yeah, I'm not doing this. I'm taking the easy way out. My grandmother's going to get me off the hook because she has money and power and fame and wealth. And I think maybe Langdon was making him be who he really was and act like he really should have. I don't know.
How many players do we have in there? How many characters are in the house right now? Of the guests, do you know?
Well, are we counting Evie or whatever her name is?
Yeah, let's count her.
7.
Okay.
Well, because I'm saying because you got Timothy and Emily, you've got Tina Porter's character, I can't think of her name, and her son. You've got Gallant and Evie, and then you've got Coco. Because didn't the other guy die?
Yeah, that first guy.
Yeah.
Now there is the guy that showed up in the first episode. His boyfriend disappeared, and I know that a lot of people I was reading online thought he was dead, but he showed up again here. Now, what's interesting is if you watch when he shows up, I can't think of his name, but when you watch when he shows up, he only shows up at dinner. We don't see him in the hallway. We don't see him interact with anybody else. We don't see him at anything. I wonder if he's the rubber man. I wonder if he is
No, the boyfriend's dead. He the one they ate?
He was there. No, the one boyfriend, the one that they ate, is dead. Stu is dead. The other guy was not anywhere except at that table.
The black gentleman?
Yes.
That's Tina Porter's son, I believe.
Yeah, but could he be something else going on here?
But don't you think he would know?
Who would know?
Well, I don't know. Maybe there is something else going on. I don't know. I mean, I don't even know how many
stuff going on that we're not hip to. So I'm just wondering.
I don't know either. I think there's only 7 quote unquote guests, 7 purples, and then the rest are grays.
So here's why I asked about the 7 purples. First of all, we brought this up on the last episode. If there was this apocalypse and they did set up these outposts, they would have more than 7 people at an outpost. Sure. They wouldn't, and we said, well, wait, they've got the workers, and then they have this elite thing. We're not seeing that many workers.
Right.
These bunkers would not be set up to house 15 people or 20 people. So why are these 7 playing out this game? Now, one thing I was thinking, the reason I was asking about the 7 is this is something that's come up with us with American Horror Story before. You and I have talked about this, about how each season they were saying was one of the 7 deadly sins. What if each of them represent one of the 7 deadly sins?
Well, maybe.
Because lust, you've got. Envy, you've got.
Right. Greed, you've got with Coco, I think.
I think you do. There's gluttony, sloth, wrath, and pride.
Uh-huh.
Is Evie pride?
Could be.
I think one of the couple, one of the 2 is definitely lust.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows? Who knows what we'll see? And maybe what's his name? Gallons is greed.
I don't think she's greed. I think Coco's greed.
Coco's greed. Yeah. Maybe he's envy.
He might be envy, yeah.
Or he might be wrath.
He could be, he might be wrath. He could be sloth. Who knows? I mean, who knows?
Yeah. So, I mean, it could be that they're doing that as their archetypes. He's saying no spoilers. Chris said no spoilers. No, it's Tate, Dina, and Stu.
Is it Dina? Is that what it is?
Yeah. So, I mean, we might be onto something there, and it might be something that plays out as we go along here. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. Like I said, we're so early in the season, and this is the point when there's a lot of red herrings and there's a lot of stuff going on that has nothing to do with what the big overarching story is.
Oh, sure.
Can we get to the ending for a second?
Yeah, absolutely. Go right ahead.
So her name's Mead, right? Kathy Bates?
Mead. Kathy Bates, yes. Miss Mead.
Yeah. So she gets shot.
Yes.
And it's pretty shocking. I thought when she got shot, I was like, oh my gosh, they're either going to kill Kathy Bates or she's going to resurrect, right?
Right.
But instead she pulls back and it's like Westworld in there.
Yeah, exactly.
There's like tubes and white stuff like from the movie Alien. And
yes.
What the hell is going on?
Well, in an apocalypse, wouldn't you want a robot running around
She had a backstory. She had humanity. I mean, if this was supposed to be modern day, where did this type of technology come from? Why is this here? And what the hell is that? And does that mean if it went so far as to have this robot thing going on, right? Mm-hmm. Let's assume she's a robot. Let's now assume that all those worker bees are robots, right?
Well,
Chris writes it's a plot twist.
One of them,
I know it's a plot twist, Chris.
one of them isn't for sure though.
What?
One of the workers isn't because Billy Lord isn't a robot.
How do you know?
Well, I mean, she came from the outside, so I mean, we would assume that she's a human because she was, her assistant.
Okay. I mean, I can go with that.
Maybe not.
But is it like a Westworld type thing? Is this something where they took? See, it doesn't make sense because the whole thing playing out with Sarah Paulson.
Yeah.
How she's the one that said, no procreation allowed.
Right.
And now they're coming to her and they're upset with this and it's punishable by death. And, it wouldn't make sense that all of it is a setup and they're all robots.
Right.
But why is Kathy Bates a robot?
I don't know. I hope they answer that in the future. Bless you.
Thank you.
I mean, I think they just threw that in there to be, I don't want to say to be shocking at that time, but I'm sure they will explain it. Or
As
I hope
Chris
they
said,
explain it.
It's a plot twist.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, I mean, it's hard to say because if you don't, we don't know. But I mean, in a post-apocalyptic type situation, you would kind of, that's old trope. I mean, they did it in Aliens. They do it all the time, that there's a robot there to help you because you may not be able to help yourself.
Okay. Now that what you just said goes back to another thought. I don't have a complete thought on this. Okay?
Right.
So I'm warning you. Spoiler, I don't know what I'm talking about most of the time. That did look like Alien. And that took me back to what we said last week, that this looked like those like 70s exploitation. You know what I mean?
Right. I do.
And I wonder if they're just taking all those ideas and kind of throwing them in a blender.
Well, or throwing them against the wall and saying which one are we gonna pull off? Because they did that. They did that last year. They did that in Freak Show. They did it in Cult. They do it in Hotel, where they just take a whole bunch of stuff and here we go. It does it allude to it or not? Yes, no, maybe so. And then they'll pull out the threads that they want to pull out.
All right.
Or maybe it's trying to, get you to think about the situation. I mean, I know. I read that too.
Did you say time unfolds the truth?
Yes, thanks.
Well, I get it. And like I said, I'm not disappointed. I'm not like, no, I'm completely intrigued by all of this. I just have a lot of questions right now because this episode, it didn't really tick things forward other than the Mead thing, which made me go, what?
Well, but I don't even know if that moved it forward. It just added more to the.
It just added to it, yeah.
Right. Well, because did we not talk about it, or was I thinking it in my head about, are they really underground? Are they someplace else? Are they?
Yeah, we had said that before.
Is this a dream? Is this
off the show? But we did say that.
Right. I mean, so there's, I think this just adds one more little twist or one more option to the pile.
Yeah.
What this actually is, and even though they make a point of showing them going outside and going in this, but what is it? Is it a big sound stage? Is it something they made up? I mean, there's all that stuff.
Sure. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
They do a good job. I mean, like with the dead horses and the thing pulling it off when they dump it over the cliff and all sorts
And we
of
saw
stuff.
Mead go out there into the stuff and do that. And we were like, even with all of her gear on, how did she do it? Well, now we know she's a robot.
Well, is she really wearing gear? Because I mean, have you seen her outfit? It doesn't look like it's total protective.
Right.
And neither does it. Neither
Which
does
also makes me say anyone that's going outside maybe is a robot.
Right. So who knows? It may not be affected by the radiation.
I'm sorry. I've got like a runny nose or something going on here, guys. Sorry. I keep sniffing and I'm struggling over here. So
yeah. Well, it's the weather. It is weather here in Chicago.
Exhaustion. So what else happened in this one? We had
the internet. How about the internet with Langdon? Langdon has that. He happens to have a power book sitting there open and powered.
Yeah.
When they make a big thing about not having using minimal electricity.
And how long has this been, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they said everything's down, but Venable is getting emails.
Right.
And frankly, if there was nuclear fallout, I'm really thinking Wi-Fi is not working.
Right. No.
Although, I mean, to be fair, if they are using hardwired lines that were installed before the apocalypse with the purpose of communication, that could be.
Well, they could get the signal, maybe, possibly.
Not Wi-Fi, please. They're not getting.
Well, not they could get. They could have.
It's like trying to put a signal through a microwave. It's not going to work. But if they did have that book, like powered through hardwire,
right?
Maybe, or maybe you're right. Maybe within the house, if they hardwire the Wi-Fi point and then have it, maybe.
Sure.
Maybe. I don't know.
Could they bounce it off a satellite? Could they use a satellite phone? I don't know.
Yeah, but think about it. If there's been all this nuclear fallout, there's a cloud over the planet basically at this point.
Right. I don't know.
If it's bad enough that you see giant clouds of nuclear fallout ripping the skin off of horses, yes. I'm going to say you're not going to get the update for Candy Crush.
You know, you gotta crush it though.
Gotta crush it.
You know, is my Netflix working? That's all I gotta ask.
That's right.
What are you doing?
Oh, looks like I've got 800 years of Netflix and chill ahead of me.
That's right. Damn it, they haven't put out a new Friends yet. What's going on?
I am waiting for Stranger Things 3 forever, it seems like.
What happened to those dang kids? So you're sitting in your bunker.
Right.
So, I mean, no. I mean, you know, there are some unanswered questions, and you always wonder how maybe they could get it. But the fact is, he's getting new emails. So, or she is.
She is.
Well, he did.
She is.
She is.
Yeah, it was going to Venable. No, it was saying that she was going back and forth, saying that she had like said the thing about how they had to be celibate.
That she made up though. That's her rule,
right? Or that's how they figured it out. They read it there, and it was because of the emails she was sending back and forth with someone, wasn't it?
No, that was Langdon's laptop that was left out in his office.
Oh, it was?
Right, and saying that Venable.
I told you, I got confused during this one. Right. And I don't usually get confused during stuff. I mean, we joke about it, but I usually am on point. This one, for some reason, I was like...
No, the laptop was Langdon's because they show him several times opening it and looking at it. But I thought it was just maybe to look at some information that he had. But then there are emails on there sent to him or that he sends back to the cooperative saying that, you know, Venable's kind of gone off the reservation and done this.
Which is interesting.
That's what I understand.
If he's writing that, he seems like a creep. So
seems like, yes.
Who's he writing with? How is he calling her out? Maybe he is just the apocalypse police.
Right.
I don't know.
Who knows? I mean, what's
maybe there's something specific about this group that they had to isolate this group.
Right.
And this group has no idea that's what's really going on. But they've isolated them, and he's there to basically see, is there anyone worth saving out of this group?
Well, if it's the truth that they're going to sit there, I mean, it doesn't sound like that part was well thought out, because if you're going to go in a bunker, you need to be prepared to live for what? Is it not 100 years, but longer than 18 months?
That. Yeah, I
mean, they seem ill prepared to survive.
Completely. Well, they only have 3 songs too. That's going to be very tiring.
Yes. You know, that's That's what I play at night, those 3 songs, and that's
Those
about it.
3 songs. Oh my gosh. Even I was getting irritated by the music, like, oh my God, not again.
Yes.
Yeah, it really seems like they're experimenting on them or torturing them for no reason. I don't know what's going on. And if you think like, okay, they brought in these certain people, why is Gallant there? Why is Coco there? It makes no sense.
But if it holds truth to that you could buy your way into it, that her parents actually had the money, and then Coco ends up there, is that by chance? True. Is that just what it is? I mean, who knows when that's going to happen? And he paid $100 million for each spot. You should take them,
right?
Because you would think that would be better. But again, your lives are in someone else's hands, and they're going to do what they want. So, yeah. It is. There's a lot, and I think there's a lot more coming up.
I think so too.
It has to be. I mean, if it would be great though if they just did like 10 episodes of them just being in the bunker.
No, it wouldn't.
It would be just because
like this for 10 episodes, you'd lose me.
Oh yeah, of course. But that would be the best part about it is that
did they lose me?
No, not that they would lose you. That they would just do that intentionally. And be like, oh, it's going to come, and you're sitting
the whole time it was just torturing you?
Yes, exactly. It's like, let's see what we can get America to do for 10 episodes this season.
And then they really tie everything together in the last episode, and it turns out OJ did this.
Or Dennis O'Hare shows up for the one final hurrah. So
right.
Dennis O'Hare, who's the other guy from...
the commish? I want the commish to come back.
The commish to come back? Well, who was the guy that was like the room reader psychic guy from Roanoke?
Oh my gosh!
That would be great.
Me when I'm this tired.
I know. I'm just saying that would be great to bring him back. Bring them all back. Let's go.
Oh yeah, bring them all back. I'll take them all. And we do have a bunch coming soon. In fact, I know because I've seen people posting pictures of the witches that the witches are on the horizon here.
Yes.
I'm anxious to see what's going on because there was one thing I saw today. Somebody just posted like something about the main characters, and it was like 3 of the witches, and I'm like, yes. Wait, they're not even on yet. Cricket, yes,
thank you,
yes.
You love cricket. You love to use some cricket. So
yeah, cricket's the best. AHS version of Big Brother. That's hilarious. Cricket. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine? That's who they should have come to the door, like an irradiated version of Cricket. And he still is the exact same character.
Oh yeah. How
He's all
doing?
irradiated.
Can I get a Coke Zero?
Can I get a Coke Zero?
Coke Zero. And
oh
Julie,
my gosh.
Is it Julie Chen? She's sitting outside interviewing people as they leave in a big
No, I want sitting outside. I want what is her mama? Whatever the really little woman from Freak Show that got pickled. That's who I want outside. This is a perfect season to have a 2-headed person with all the radiation.
Exactly, but then she would be. Then she would be yet another character in the show. Sarah Paulson plays like 500. It's like
he'd be 3 in this episode. Well, how about Jessica Lange shows up, but she's the character from Freak Show. And then Lady Gaga's a vampire, and she shows up. I fully thought we were going to get vampires in this episode for some reason.
That would be cool. All right. Somebody's got to survive the apocalypse. So
vampires are good guess. Vampires and robots. Maybe that's what this episode turns out to be. Vampires versus witches versus robots. AHS apocalypse. Oh,
it would be like Alien versus Predator versus
only watchable.
Jason.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that was bad.
That was bad. Remember that first one? The Predator looked like he was wearing a giant marshmallow.
Yes,
like his costume was all bulbous, and it was weird, man.
That they tried to get the muscle padding and didn't
really work.
Didn't work.
Looked like a kid's Halloween costume.
Yeah, bring back Cricket. Let's get Cricket back.
Yeah, always looking for Cricket.
Well, good. I don't know. I'm looking at tie-ins now. Is there a tie-in with Murder House with Langdon? Wasn't that Evan Peters' name, and wasn't that
was his last name Langdon? Because his first name was
Tate, right? I think it's Langdon. Is that a tie-in?
Oh, now I got to look it up.
Well, I'm just wondering. So I don't know.
Now watch. Chris is going to beat us to it. All right, American Horror Story. Bifocals are not functioning. Blah blah blah. Runny nose. Welcome to the Old Man Disturbed podcast.
Back in my day, there was more than one Pringle in the can.
What?
I don't know. I'm just being
There's only one in the can now?
No, there isn't.
I don't know. I don't eat Pringles. I didn't eat a Burger King.
You what?
I said I didn't eat a Burger King. Come on, man. That's a Pulp Fiction reference.
Yes, it's Langdon. So.
Oh. Yeah, Constance Langdon. He's Langdon.
I'm just throwing this out here because I was running through a thing that talked about all the characters that they had. Did they have a kid? And could this possibly be the child if that's the tie into Murder House? Or is that...
Who had a kid?
Langdon. Evan Peters.
Did he have a kid?
Wasn't him and Connie Britton, weren't they married or...
No, Connie Britton was married to what's his name? The one that was cheating on her.
Oh, one of the Mulrooney, McDermott, whatever.
Yeah, one of those guys. Muldermott. We'll go with that. Dylan McDermott. Yeah, she was married to him.
Then who was his wife?
Peters was like 10 when they did that one. Tessa Farmiga.
He wasn't 10. He was young, but he wasn't that young.
No, I know. But Tessa Farmiga was his
so he says nerd here, and this is Tate's kid. Chris, you're the man.
You think so?
Well, I mean, they really talked about how they're tying us in with all these different episodes. So
could be. I'm down with it. Did you know that in here's a little bit of trivia that I just noticed that Tessa Farmiga that was in Murder House, you know, the teenage girl.
Yeah.
Do you know who her sister is?
Via Farmiga.
I didn't know that was her sister. I figured they were related, but
is it Via or Verna?
Vera.
Vera, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, she was in yeah, she's awesome. She was in
She's
Departed.
awesome. Well, we actually just finished binging Bates Motel, which if you haven't gotten to the end of Bates Motel, stop, because that last season was terrible.
Yeah.
And Freddie Highmore was great in it, and Vera Farmiga was great in it.
Right.
And then it's like, I don't know, they went to Walmart and fleshed out the rest of the actors. I don't know what happened. We watched it. We're just like, oh my God, when's it over? And we really liked the series up to the last season.
Are those two?
We just loved her in that.
Oh yeah, she's great and everything. What's that? She was in that movie with Clooney and what's the?
So he's saying, wait a minute, is that a spoiler? Is Lady Tate's kid? That's a spoiler. Yes. So are we going to find that out?
Well, I don't know if that's a spoiler. I think that's the tie-in, though.
But are we going to find that out? I mean, is that like, oh no, it's in episode 4?
No, because the name's the same. I don't think they're going to intentionally put a weird name like that on somebody just by circumstance. Langdon's not that. I mean,
I wanted a confirmation. Is what I was looking for. And yes, Chris, Bates Motel is awesome, except that last season. I don't know what the heck happened there, but I did really like Freddie Highmore, and I really liked when he flipped. It was good stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you watch it, Chris?
I watched parts of it. It's like me. I don't have time I can't get into that. So,
right.
Doctor Who and, a couple other shows are right.
Right. Yeah. When it worked, it was pretty amazing stuff, but it was not always amazing stuff. And that last season, I don't know what happened.
His name is Michael. Whose name is Michael?
Michael Langdon? Wasn't he the Touched by an Angel or one of those?
Landon. It was Michael Landon.
I'm going to go with Michael Langdon going forward.
Yes. And where's Haas? No, I'm teasing.
Hey, did somebody say Queenie shows up? Because didn't Queenie die at the end of Hotel?
Well, what happens when you die in Hotel, Rob?
You can't leave the hotel.
You can't leave the hotel.
But she died in Hotel.
Is she listed in the credits?
Somebody said that Queenie is in this season as Queenie.
Well, that's awesome.
Is that right?
I don't know. We haven't seen it. Quit reading the credits. Quit going ahead.
I'm asking.
Well, look at, the picture. You've seen the picture of the witches. You already spoiled that.
Well, no, we knew the witches were in this.
Yeah, but
and the picture of the witches was a picture of the witches from season 3. It wasn't a modern picture of the witches. So,
are you sure?
I am positive. The picture I saw, but it said like they were
laptop was. So
I could have been completely fooled by all of it, which we know is a possibility.
Queenie is canon. They're a hell of a band too. Queenie.
Oh, and I like Queenie is Canon is a sweet name for a band.
That's a great cover band for Queen.
Queenie is Canon. Yeah, I'm trying to see somebody named Nude Man in that season. I'm not going to encourage that cosplay.
In what season?
Chris.
In what season?
The last season. I'm not encouraging that cosplay from you.
No. Don't have to worry about that. I'm not.
Don't have to worry about it.
Not going to do it.
I was actually just going season by season and picking random episodes just to see if Langdon showed up.
I'm just drawing some. I'm just trying to think back. In Murder House, didn't Langdon wear something as well? Chris, can you verify that? I can't remember because it's been so long. And I can't remember yesterday, let alone 7 years ago.
Leslie Jordan, that's who played Cricket.
Leslie Jordan.
I loved him on that.
Can somebody get me a Coke Zero? And my Uber is coming.
Get me a Coke Zero. Oh, so excellent. Let's bring him back. All right. Did we talk this out?
We talked out that we still don't know anything. So
yeah, I think we're way past our time. We wanted to keep this to a half hour and we missed it. So let's end it. Unless you got any final thoughts, Chris.
No, I just hope that there's a lot more coming, and I think there is. So
I think there is too.
They talk about the witches coming, and there's, I think there's a lot. I think there's a lot of Easter eggs that we haven't gotten that maybe we should, need to look at it. So
I agree. So find us on Facebook. You can just go in the search bar and type in @Disturbed Podcast. You can find us on Twitter @Disturbed Pod. You can find Chris at Blue Box Cafe 176 on Twitter and Instagram. You can find the.
Hold on, we need to talk about something now. So Tate Langdon was the Rubber Man, who was played by Evan Peters. So if there's a tie-in that Michael Langdon is his son, is his dad the Rubber Man, and
it could be. Or that could be a red herring to make us think that maybe it's actually Tate Langdon.
Or is it made up in his head? Who knows? I don't know.
Could be.
That's crazy. Thank you, Chris.
It could be that he's using the illusion of the Rubber Man, like he's made a tulpa of the Rubber Man there for them to have to deal with.
Or is he sleeping with his grandmother? Because he said that he made that.
Hold on. I just threw up in my mouth.
He's sleeping with Joan Collins, which is a freaky thing. But well, I'm just saying. But he's he's just using that illusion or that's something that is, I don't know.
Follow the company @SMG Pods. Find us on Facebook. Find us on Instagram under @SMG Pods. You can find me @Rob Southgate or @R Southgate. Chris, you got any other social media you want to give out?
GeeksCon with a Z.
Yeah.
GeeksCon.com.
And you can send an email to the show. Just send it to the main one. So send it to Southgate Media Group @gmail.com. And stay tuned because we will come back. He said to watch the Murder House finale. That's where it tells us Tate Langdon is the Rubber Man. We will try to post, hey, we're recording tonight. That way, if you want to jump on, as our friend Chris here did, we love getting in conversation with you. So there you go. I can't think of anything else.
I think we're good.
All right. Did we come up with an ending for this one?
Not enough said. So I don't know. What are we going to do?
How about back in your rubber suits, everybody?
Oh.